Hi, welcome to SPR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. This is a very special edition of the NBA Odds Couple Show where we're going to cover the chances that the Golden State Warriors actually do break the record. Now, I don't even know why we have to do this video. I'm just saying, of course they're going to.
Well,
Who's going to beat them?
There you go. I like that.
Why are we doing this? Who's going to beat them?
Well, you know what? Looking at it, they got 9 games left, Pete. They're 66-7. They're chasing the elusive Chicago Bulls record of 72 wins. So,
Right, so even if they lose 2,
if they lose 2, they can still beat the record. 3, they would tie it. But trust me, they got no interest at this point in tying. All right, now 2 of those matchups are against San Antonio Spurs.
Right.
Okay, but I just thought it'd be interesting to go over the rest of their slate, 9 games, okay, and see what you think, all right? The first one's tomorrow night at home.
I already told you, I think. There's no way they don't break the record, right? I mean, where are you seeing 3 losses?
Well, that's what we're breaking this down for,
All right,
Pistol
okay,
Pete.
let's go.
All right, let's start. Washington
No
at home.
way.
I don't think it's happening. Washington's 2 up and down. Now, there's one game that might be a little tricky.
Sure, Utah.
At Utah.
Yes.
Because you know what? I'm doing my research, and you know I love buckling
Yes.
down on this. This year, Golden State, when they did struggle, it was against fast teams that were young, teams that run that were young, okay? Utah, that's one of them. I mean, literally. I mean, besides Sheldon Mack, they got Trey Burks, they got Rodney Hood, they got some young guys. And you couple that with Gordon Hayward, young, and they like to run, and that team's focused.
They play tight defense. It's a road game. Obviously, all of their losses have come on the road.
Yeah. That could be a trap.
They could lose that one. Would I be betting on Golden State in that game on the spread? No way.
No. And I wrote that too.
Right.
I'm not going to touch that as far as betting value.
And depending on the total, I'll definitely be thinking about a shot with the under.
Okay.
They might lose that one. You got a maybe.
Okay, and then they get 1 day off after that game at Utah, and they go 4 straight at home. First one on the 1st of next month is against Boston. All right.
I mean, come on.
No, I know, but here's my thought.
Okay.
I think they try to pound them in the first half, midway through third quarter, then they rest their guys.
Yeah.
Knowing, okay, we're not worried about any spread for any way.
Sure.
We are. But anyway, I think they do that, they rest, they get the W. All right, then they get another day off. Then the next night, Portland Trailblazers coming to town. Good, young, up-and-coming team. Wait, young legs that like to run. Again, they might struggle, but at this point, if they're winning the rest, they're locked in now, I'm thinking. So I think the same thing. It could be a tough game, but I think they try to establish that lead and kick back.
Right, and they already lost once to Portland, so they know.
Revenge.
And
they know what they're bringing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I thought that might be interesting for an over, Pete, especially on the first half of that.
Oh, yeah.
Game.
Oh, I mean, in general, if we're talking about betting with Golden State, I'm looking at first half overs, second half unders the rest of the way.
Well, and again, just my reasoning is that Portland, Minnesota, anybody coming to town, this is their Super Bowl. We want to be the ones to knock them off, try to not have them beat that record, and we want to be the first ones to give them a home loss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Portland's coming in double motivated, knowing they beat this team, so that might be a great over
but
early.
Hasn't that been the case the whole year, that they've taken every team's best shot every time that they've come in?
Pretty much, damn near. But now it's crunch time. There's teams that going now, hey, I got one more chance to knock this team off. That was my thoughts. And then you're at home against a banged up, beat up Minnesota team. I think they pound them early, rest everybody. Hell, they might even rest a peanut vendor in the second half.
Then San Antonio. Okay.
At home.
Yes.
Revenge, first of all.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they want the W. The Spurs have stated that they want to go for the number 1 seed if it's still available for the playoffs. Warriors have stated we want to go for the record if we can get it, and they think they can get it. So much dynamics, and that's on the 7th, okay? So they get a day off after beating Minnesota because they think they're going to beat Minnesota. They got the Spurs at home. I think they get that W.
Sure.
All right? Then, next thing you know, they go back on the road after a day off at Memphis. All right, Memphis. Me, you, and Juan could beat Memphis. All right, and then guess what? On the 10th.
Right, back-to-back at San Antonio, which is the last time they lost to the Spurs was also a back-to-back.
Yes.
It was a little bit different because they didn't have a gimme game like they'll have with Memphis. I mean, they'll presumably have a big lead and rest all the top guys in the second half of that one. Yes, that one they could lose. That one could be tough.
And again, in the back of their heads, they know they can lose too. All right. But I don't know, man. I think they want to clean the whole slate and sweep the rest of every game.
My prediction is they lose at most one of these 9 games, at most.
At most? Okay, yes. My prediction is maybe 2, with Utah being that sneaky game and then the Spurs, all right? Because the last game of the year is, again, against a Memphis team. At that point, they just want to get the hell home, and they just want to get the hell out of there. So, and it's on their home court. And for the viewers out there, if your book still has any kind of props for this to happen on the futures, jump on it. It was
It's a
available
lock.
weeks ago.
It's a lock, I think.
I think they get it done. And Pete, you got to admit, I've been talking about this pretty much
Sure.
throughout the season. When I
Absolutely.
really saw that this was doable, I was the biggest fan, jumped on board, and I'm pulling for him, baby. I want to see him get it done.
Yeah, I mean, though, it is interesting, though, as we said from the beginning of the year, remember when we were talking about this, we were like, maybe just the best recommendation is bet on the Spurs and bet on Golden State every game. They're 40, 31, and 2 against the spread on the year, but they have lost 4 out of their last 5 against the spread.
Yes.
Now, I think they're going to, sweep these 9 games or lose at most 1. Against the spread, though, they might be a good bet against in many of them. My prediction for these 9 games, maybe 4 and 5 ATS,
Ooh,
something like that. You know what I mean?
And that was the next thing I was going to say. Of course, we're talking about the regular W for the record, but there's a lot of betting value in there because there's going to be games that are going to want to jump out early, games are going to want to sit back, so you can pick your spots. And with you on the totals, Pete.
Yeah, they also 41, 31, and 1 over under on the year, but under in 4 out of their last 5, and I also think the totals are going to start to get inflated as well. I would also predict, it depends if they decide that they want to be flashy. I'm guessing at most 4 and 5 over their last. I think they're going to trend. I think if you bet all 9 of these games under, you'll come out at least a little bit ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, the most important thing is there is betting value. And viewers, we want to hear your opinion. So if you can blog on this video, comment, post, Twitter, whatever, let us know your thoughts and what teams you think might be able to knock off Golden State and stop them from getting that record. Or do you think they can run this thing and knock it out?
Let me
and
just ask
get
you
the
quickly.
record?
You did check the odds before. What were the odds? I mean, from my eye, it's like it's a lock that they lose no more than 2 games. They get the record.
And I don't have the correct information, so I'm not going to put it out there, but I'm damn sure going to check. And like I said, a couple weeks ago, I almost jumped on a futures bet with that for them to do that. And at that time, I think it was like plus 380 or something, Pete. Maybe I was a little hot. No, maybe it was.
Must have been minus 380 or something like that.
I think it was. It was minus 380. Yeah. That's what
Still,
it was. Still, I
would
think
have been
that's
great
got
value.
Yeah. So, but it's very interesting. It's not every year we see something like this. And again, you got 2 teams that now one of them cannot have an undefeated home record.
Right.
All right. So that's interesting too. There's just so many dynamics into this, and you may be looking at 2 teams squaring off in the Western, Conference for the championship. So
all right. So fine. To sum up the predictions, I predict they lose. Actually, you know what? I predict they. Well, yeah.
You were going to tail me on Utah, weren't you?
I predict that they split with the Spurs, and I predict they lose 1 of these games. I predict that they go at best 4 and 5 ATS, and at most 4 and 5 over under. Do you have any predictions for these final 9 games?
I do. I think they're going to drop 2 of them for some reason. I'm feeling 2.
Just one way or another.
One way or another, and I think that would be okay. They beat the record by 1. They're smiling, they're happy, and it's going to be a hell of a long time before that record gets broke, unless Golden State do it next year, and they can. They show that they can do anything. But with that being said, Pete, before we close out, also I want people to know, check out our SBR Sports Picks at SBR Picks page, okay? And that's for Major League Baseball. There's some great articles from some great handicappers coming up for Major League Baseball, and you get daily picks in there and everything. So some good quality information. It's going to be all throughout MLB, and also NHL playoffs are coming up. So check out.
I love the NHL playoffs.
I do too. You can bang some buck on NHL, and we got some great writers also giving out some picks as well, and do the same for the NBA playoffs. But Pistol Pete and I, we will be bringing you up to speed and giving you the edge each and every day in our videos to beat your book and build your bank.
Man, nice spiel, Mike.
I like it, buddy. High five on that one. Bam! Fist bump.